Welcome everybody to the exciting study of Baasha, the third king of Israel. He is from the tribe of Issachar, and Issachar settled by the Sea of Galilee, on the west side of the Sea of Galilee towards the south. Baasha reigned either from 909 to 886 BC or 908 to 885 BC. The one-year discrepancy is based upon an uncertainty in the Tishri versus Nisan year starting point. And the meaning of Baasha is he that lays waste. So that starts off on a pretty negative connotation right off the bat. His story is in 1 Kings chapter 15, and we're going to start at verse 33 and 34. In the third year of Asa, king of Judah, began Baasha, the son of Ahijah, to reign over all Israel in Tirzah, 24 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of Jeroboam, and in his sin, wherewith he made Israel to sin. Now Tirzah catches my eye, so let's find out where that is. Let's go to Google Earth. Noticed in the Middle East that we have the red and the blue, and that is the dividing line because of northern Israel and Judah, or southern Israel. We'll get a better look at that. And I'm going to show Tirzah. This shows it a little bit more clearly, locked to the ground. This is still the favored place for the kings in the north. It's right in the middle of their kingdom. And now that we have that locked down in geography, let's move on with the scripture. And Baasha, the son of Ahijah of the house of Issachar, conspired against him. That's against Nadab. And Baasha smote him at Gibbethon, which belongeth to the Philistines. For Nadab and all Israel laid siege to Gibbethon. This is a little bit of foreshadowing about how Baasha actually came to the throne. And it's in 1 Kings 15, 27 and 28. Even in the third year of Asa, king of Judah, did Baasha slay him and reigned in his stead. So right from the get-go, he is one who gained his kingship in blood. And here is his seal. This is from Guillaume Royal. He is a French carver that carved this in 1553. The state of Israel wasn't that good between the north and the south at this time. In verse 16 and 17, we can find out some detail that, and there was war between Asa, that's Asa of Judah in the south, and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days. All their days. And they had pretty good length of reigns, and so all their days they're having problems. That's poor for the people. And Baasha, king of Israel, went up against Judah and built Ramah, that he might not suffer any to go out or come in to Asa, king of Judah. And now let's take a bit of time to look at that, about Ramah. Yeah, so this is what we had before. I'm going to add Ramah to this list, and I'm going to turn off those models just so we can see it on the ground. And also a little more info, Bethel. Remember, Bethel was the place where there was a golden calf, and Jeroboam was using Bethel as a buffer city, so all the people of the north would not go down to the temple at Jerusalem. So we can see that Ramah is even closer to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is just a little bit south of here. Let me see if I can get Jerusalem. Yes, all three of those on there. Yeah, so King Baasha was even more insecure against Jerusalem and built a more strategic city, creeping even closer to Jerusalem. I can't imagine what this area might have looked like because of all these wars. I'm kind of sad over that. We get a sense here of the war stratagems in the time of the Bible, which this is approximately 900 BC. So airplanes had not been invented yet, or helicopters or drones, so Israel was going to make a series of forts to surround Jerusalem. And we'll find out their first fort ended up failing. The close proximities of these cities is going to create a state of attrition where people can run back to their fortifications, so they are constantly picking off their enemies. We read a little bit more in the Bible here in 1 Kings 15:18-20. Then Asa took all the silver and the gold that were left in the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house, and delivered them into the hand of his servants. And King Asa sent them to Ben-Hadad, the son of Tabrimon, the son of Hezion, king of Syria, that dwelt at Damascus, saying, There is a league between me and thee, and between my father and thy father. Behold, I have sent unto thee a present of silver and gold. Come and break thy league with Baasha, king of Israel, that he may depart from me. So Ben-Hadad hearkened unto King Asa, and sent the captains of the host which he had against the cities of Israel, and smote Ijon and Dan, and Abel-Math-Machan, and all Cinneroth, with all the land of Naphtali. Remember that King Asa is in the south. He's in the blue region of our map. Getting a better idea of this, let's get the perspective of Damascus. So Asa in the south in blue ended up paying Damascus in the north, who is going to be Shemitic and part Canaanite, because Canaan is right here along the coast, but the Shemitic peoples are coming all the way close to the coast. So this is a metropolitan area where there are multiple people groups. But as a pretty good strategy to Asa in the south, when Damascus was attacking Israel from the north, that led off pressure from the south and this development that happened right there by Bethel and Jerusalem and Ramah. Now Baasha has to split his army. So he must have felt pretty betrayed, and he got pretty busy in the north defending himself. And verse 21 and 22, And it came to pass, when Baasha heard thereof, that he left off building of Ramah, and dwelt in Tirzah. Then King Asa made a proclamation throughout all Judea. None was exempted, and they took away the stones of Ramah, and the timber thereof, wherewith Baasha had builded. And King Asa built with them Geba of Benjamin and Mizpah. So we see the origins of these other cities from Judah, who's the benefactor of all the work. I'll turn off Jerusalem there for a second and get Tirzah back on here. Here's the town of Ramah that's sitting here idle because Baasha has to fight up into the north. All this building material can be reappropriated in the south. So Judah wastes no time. King Asa of Judah wastes no time coming up in here and taking all the wood and all the stone that was deposited there. That was very smart on the part of Asa in Judah in the south. There was no Home Depot at this time. They took building material very, very seriously. In verse 4, 5, and 6 of 2 Chronicles, there I'll list the mirrored scripture. Sometimes you see the very exact words in Kings and in Chronicles. People didn't like to be stone quarriers or people that took water from the rivers up into the city. That was a very low task. So anytime they could get building material, they did it. Now let's go into our time machine, zap down to the time of 900 BC. That way we can get a visual of the fourth dimension of what's going on here. We have the whole dimension of time from Adam all the way to modern times. And now turn your attention to this area where Israel is. We're going to zoom in further, and here is where Baasha is. See, he has quite a longer reign than Nadab. The defunct reign of Nadab, the second king of Israel, didn't go very far, but Baasha has a pretty good sized reign. So instead of fighting the Canaanites, the Israelites were fighting each other. Let's turn back to 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 1 through 3. Then the word of the Lord came to Jehu, the son of Hanani, against Baasha, saying, Forasmuch as I exalted thee out of the dust, and made thee prince over my people Israel, and thou hast walked in the way of Jeroboam, and hast made my people Israel to sin, to provoke me to anger with their sins, behold, I will take away the posterity of Baasha, and the posterity of his house, and will make thy house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. The idolatry just keeps on going, the sacrificing of children, the homosexuality, the big sins of those idols that Solomon set up. Solomon initially set up the idolatry in Israel because of all the wives that he had. And then here we have the continuation of that with the 2 golden calves with Jeroboam 1. And it just doesn't stop. So, following that prophecy, we know how the house of Jeroboam turned out. It's the same thing Baasha did to Nadab. It's the same thing the 3rd king did to the 2nd king. Now, in verse 4 through 6, here's a rather gruesome end of Baasha. Him that dieth of Baasha in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth of his in the fields shall the fowls of the air eat. Now the rest of the acts of Baasha and what he did and his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel? So Baasha slept with his fathers and was buried in Tirzah, and Elah his son reigned in his stead. Baasha lived and died with a defiance of God. Be sure to write your thoughts down in the comments section. What can we learn from the life of Baasha? Well, the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you, and may you go in peace. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.